So it's Thursday today. Don't know if I can zoom into the Maloka. Just about make out someone sitting in the chair, but there's a group of 6 Americans, 1 guy, 5 girls. The main girl, I think she's a shamana, about 5 years experience, I'm not sure. And they're all doing Kambo in there. So I'm going to wander down, just show a bit of the camp. It's raining today, warm front, so it's probably going to be in for a while. It's clearing now a little bit, so I'm just going to wander down to the river, the other pathway, because they're cooking fresh ayahuasca for this group, because they've got a ceremony tonight. Normally you do an ayahuasca ceremony and then have Kambo the next day, but because they've got to prepare the ayahuasca for about 8 hours. Maestro told me they started cooking it, but it's the other Maestro, it's Maestro Christian that's working with that group. He's got about 10 years experience. He trained under Maestro Antonor. He's his, I think he's his nephew. So there's the flood river. Maestro told me today, I got it wrong, the rainy season's from November to March. He said March, there's loads of rain. So this flood area from the Ucayali is going to get much higher. It comes, they said they used to have when they first had this land, before they built this kitchen, they used to have an area over here, which is where their house was, but it floods, it can flood up to the grass. So they're in the process of expansion. They're building more tambos. So there's the kitchen area. And there's the restaurant area. That's Maestro Kate, who works at Lighthouse. So you can see they've been cutting the leaves for the roofs that need repairing. Roberto's going into Genaro Herrera again at some point today. They haven't already gone. Maestro may have gone with him in the end, or he's sleeping, I'm not sure. He came and had a chat with me for about an hour this morning. He taught me a Katawita prayer, which is I did the video on. So it's just about your own interpretation, really. It's a bit like meditation, you know. I was right, you know, along the right lines for, you know, Katawita means Katawita. Anything with ita on the end of it isn't a diminutive in this sense. It's like, it's carino, like deer katawa tree, or almandrita, deer almond. It's a dodgy board. So they've set this rainproof camp up this morning. I think just one of the lads is looking after it. Hola, señor. He's contemplating. There's a big old fire going there. Señor? Señor? ¿Está bien por un video? Sí, gracias. La madera encima, ¿no? ¿Ah? Madera encima, sí. Y chacruna y ayahuasca bajo.
Chacruna, ayahuasca, chacruna.
Ah, pisos. Ah, okay, grados. So you see it bubbling away there. It's got a All I can smell is the firewood, really. It's bubbling away there. 8 horas, ¿no? Más o menos. Para usar anoche en ceremonia, ¿sí? Se fresca. So this is the brew that group's going to have tomorrow. Tonight, rather. Gracias, señor. So, I can't be around this group. I was yesterday when they arrived, but I can't be around this group being on the Katawa Dieta because Katawa is a jealous tree. It's a very strong tree for protection, but it's jealous, and that's why I can't go into Hanaro Herrera either. Whereas Bobinsana, because she's so lovely, all about love and happiness, and just an open spirit, she's absolutely beautiful. So, you can be around people on her, but not with Katawa. He might get the hump. But I did have a proeba 2 nights ago. I think the night after I spent the night in the jungle. So that was Monday in the jungle, and then Tuesday night I had that really wacky dream. No, sorry, the first night back, Monday. But then on Tuesday I had a weird experience. So I was telling Maestro I had I don't think it was an attack, but it was a proeba. I was asleep but didn't know it because I thought I was falling asleep to Maestro Zikaros, and I was like that in the dream. So I thought I was half awake, but I felt a physical presence again, like my dream in Iquitos after the retreat, of when my dietas were all aligned properly. When I had a body sliding under my cover down my back when I was on my side, and I had the same thing, and a hand on my shoulder, feminine presence putting a hand on my shoulder going, Stevie. And of course these are the types of tests because there'll be sexual tests, and basically the answer is absolutely no, because it means the dieta may fail if you succumb to these sort of what's the word? Sexual advances of the female spirit, but very physical presence. And of course I woke up and I just thought, worst case, I just thought I might be a witch, so I just did a bruja, and then prayed to Katawita and Bobinsana to come and protect me physically and in my dreams against any influences of witches or well, even if it's a proeba. So the answer is always no. You just got to know that and hope that in the dream that's what you do. You don't succumb to their temptations, so to speak. So they're painting and slowly cleaning the place up, but it's typical Peru. Instead of getting it all done before the guests arrive, so it's a bit of a pain in the arse in the morning because I'm really sensitive in the morning. Just I always was. I'm groggy in the morning, and 7 o'clock in the morning the guys were using the chainsaws to cut the boards like this, to size, to fit, to replace the path which links the Maloka to the toilet, and they've been cleaning up, making that toilet usable this morning, because for this group starting their cambo at 10, although they're all vomiting into buckets anyway. And of course they've got solar panels here, except in mine. I haven't got one at the back. The wire's broken, so they haven't fixed it. So we got Maestro's Tambos here. As the guests now are in that one. That's another that's the family house that the first week was playing loads of music, but they are family, or extended family. And I got that walkway across that little river there. So, but it's a lovely place, but Maestro said he's getting his house done up for me because next week there's or certainly in February, there's a group of 12 coming, and if I do 3 more dietas, depending on money, when I get back to Nauta, a week Saturday, which is 9 days away, I'll have to go and stay in his house because 12 people's too much. Because dieting trees, all my dietas are going to be trees for protection, so they're all strong and they're probably all like Katawa and jealous, and you just don't want to be around people. So he's doing work at that little place near where I spent the night. So there's Maestro Kate again. There's my blanket drying because it was a bit smelly the other night when it was cold last night again and damp. So I didn't have a great night. It was a bit just not irritable, just a bit kind of deflated because I had a conversation with Maestro and he told me that it would take another year for me, you know, to be anything like in a position of. He said, but we do it in stages. You know, he said I'll get you to sing sometime in the future, but he'll be there, sort of controlling the ceremony, and I'll just start singing Icaros if I've learnt them well enough and things like that, and then he'll, you know, report back to me and that kind of thing. But I was a bit deflated last night, and when I thought about it, because I just, you know, but he did tell me a story. Just take my wellies off. He did tell me a story about Papa Julio, a friend of Papa Julio's, and he went from scratch. He took this student, friend of his, and he went from scratch. There's my huge mirror that Maestro. I've got a light on. Oh, wasting the battery. Hang on a minute, let's get that off. So, I've been out in my wet jacket. So yeah, Maestro told me a story about this student, and he got him from, I mean, a local, he would have known, you know, probably all the trees and everything already in the cultural background, so major head start. But within 6 months, he got him from zero to shaman in 6 months. So it's possible to do that. And of course, that was partly what, again, reflecting on the amount of money and time wasted by not finding, you know, Maestro Anton or, you know, earlier on in my path. But what can you do, you know? So I just got to hope that I get some money from somewhere. Either the crypto goes up or, you know, Terry sent me my driving license, the new one with the address, so that it corresponds with my bank, and I got to hope the BT pension scheme sorts something out, and maybe I can get some money from that, and just overstay my visa, just try and once Maestro's house is functional, habitable, live there, just stay there and do however many dietas I can. But I was in a bit of a mood this morning. I was fuck, I can't do another year, you know, I'm gonna have to leave and get work. But the problem is, if I leave Peru, my visa's finished in a couple of weeks, end of February, maybe, beginning of March it will finish. It's I don't know, 25th of January at the moment, or whatever it is. So probably 6 weeks. If I leave, I won't be able to come back in. So that's a bit of a bummer. So just kind of mulling over that pissy situation. But I've had breakfast. Feel alright. Feel pretty good today. But last night I was just thinking, oh fuck. I mean, he did an Icaro for me to learn, which is just simple to. Because I said to him, I said, Maestro, I don't feel I got a connection with Katawa because I haven't met the spirit in ceremony. Not like, you know, Bob and Sana was just so great and she was with me all week, but I just don't feel I've met the spirit, you know. So I just feel like I'm. But he said, you know, provided you're just meditating and visualizing the trunk of the tree and looking up to the canopy and in your mind, and you know, just saying the same things. So I told him what I've been saying, which is Katawa, heal me, Katawa, protect me, just over and over. And he said, yeah, it's fine. And I said about sometimes curing my blood, and then he rattled off this little prayer, and I recorded it, and then did the video of him actually singing it and doing the motions as how he does it. And last night I wrote down as much as I could. There's a couple of words I didn't get, so I've got to check those with him for sure. But he explained most of them, and they're all the same really. It's even in the Icaros, they're all basically the same. They're all sort of kudaringi, kudamongi, sitorni, which all means just care, come with care for me, come with care and strength and force, that kind of thing. For all the names of the different trees, obviously he rattles off loads of names of trees when he goes through it in ceremony, because he just pulls them all in. And he said, look, any plant or tree that you've dieted, they're inside of you, so you can call them. Once you sing an Icaro or an incantation, then you call them and call them for protection. So that's why he rattles off that right at the start. He's not like other shamans. All the other shamans I've ever had, they wait for the ayahuasca to hit them for like half an hour, same as everybody else, and then they start to sing. Whereas Maestro just immediately drinks the ayahuasca and then just rattles off loads of these incantations, calling every animal and plant spirit that he knows, boa negra, spirits of different animals, aguilita, deer, eagle, queen of the air, queen of the birds rather, aguilita, reina de las aves, queen of the birds. And like the boa negra, that he said this morning that if a bruja comes in and then the boa negra is protecting the maloka and they don't run away when he comes, he'll just eat them. He'll just swallow the spirit. It's fascinating stuff. I love it. So I haven't done any meditation today. I've got all day. It's going to be raining, I think, most of the day. Gave Maestro my phone to take in. Got a couple of messages, short ones from people yesterday, because it gets boring, and at night I was really bored last night. But the trouble is, it's that apathy thing still. Instead of getting the work done during the day, it depends on my mood, but then you're on a dieta as well, and you don't know what's affecting your mood that way either. But it is what it is. So I just have my Spanish to listen to, try and transcribe, and then of course I got the chats with Maestro now, so when he comes and I remember, I'll set the phone running on the voice recorder. And I've been cutting sections out of his whole ceremonies where there's the individual songs for different plants or trees or whatever, and just because the app that I've got, the Samsung voice recorder app's got an editing section that you can cut them out, so I've just got 5 or 10 minute sections specific to a plant, and then I can write the words down and know that is specific to that particular plant or tree or bird, or like the aguilita. And he was explaining some of the other words. They're hawks. They're different species of hawk, again calling those to attack bad spirits. And some of the words meaning grab but not let go, that kind of thing. So it's all good stuff, but I'm so glad for this tracksuit he gave me, because last night I had to sleep in it. I had to put on another pair of trousers. I only had the one blanket because the other one was getting washed, which is the lion one you saw hanging up. So yeah, it was not a great night for sleep. I was in and out of sleep really. I feel alright now, but I didn't feel like I slept much. And then 7 o'clock in the morning, fucking chainsaw started, and the guy hammering the nails, fucking just there by the Maloka toilet, fixing the path. And I was thinking in that mood, thinking of typical Peruvians, that instead of getting it all done before the groups arrive, the groups have to fucking, especially after a night of ayahuasca, if you're feeling rough in the morning, if you haven't slept too well or you haven't got much sleep, 2 or 3 hours at best, after diarrhea or vomiting or something, you really don't want to be listening to the fucking guy cutting the grass with the motor machine right outside your tambo in the morning, which I've had pretty much all the first week. It's like, oh, typical Peruvians, why don't you get it done, But I suppose they get the money first, and then they have to go to Genaro Herrera and buy what they need. And so anyway, sometimes it's a bit hard, but most of the day it's pretty quiet, except for the birds. They're quite noisy today with the rain. So I think it's just going to be a solid wet day today. But anyway, that's that. So, oh well, I've got, yeah, it'll be, so Thursday today, it's going to have a ceremony tomorrow, which I think will be ceremony 93. How many have we done? We did 3 or 4, I don't know. So I think it's ceremony 93. It'll be the 4th ceremony here. So we do 2 a week. This is why dietas are much better value for money. Depends what your path is, but even for illnesses, you're better off doing a dieta because it's cheaper, and you get 2 ayahuasca ceremonies anyway to open you and close you for the dieta. So I just wish I hadn't spent, but you know, I was looking for a shaman. I wish, you know, all the money that I've spent, I said to Maestro this morning, I've spent probably at least 35,000 at Lighthouse alone, just doing ayahuasca retreats. You know, $2,000 for 2 weeks. You know, it's a lot of money, and like you said, for not really much benefit, because you only get the benefit of the ayahuasca, whereas you get that on the dieta anyway. Plus, you're also doing the dieta and you're learning about the plants if you've got a decent shaman who's prepared to teach you. And this has always been the problem. I've never found one. Maestro Antonio was the first one who loves coming and explaining things. He'll answer any of my questions. And of course, being in the jungle and going out with him to collect the plants, collect leaves or get the bark and all that stuff, you know, you're learning, and because it sticks. So he's got to pick me up some more spirals that I've just blagged a box from the kitchen. The lady she's called as well, that's his sister. So she's married to Juan. So Juan is his, Juan's his uncle. So that's his relationship to this family that owns this plot of land. He's their step-uncle, or brother-in-law. Cuñado or cuñada is brother or sister-in-law. Sounds rude though, doesn't it? Cuñada. Cuñada. Sounds like a swear word. So anyway. So once this dieta's finished Friday night and closed, I can go into Genaro Herrera. I got the photos from Terry for my driving license, but they didn't download. You have to click on them to download them. Fucking WhatsApp typical. Instead of just downloading the damn things, because I could have put them in a email today and saved 2 days time and sent them off to the BT pension fund when Roberto goes into Genaro Herrera today. But it doesn't, it's 2 days more, it doesn't matter. I'll go in Saturday, download the pictures, attach them to an email, send them to the BT pension, then see what other hurdles they're going to throw back at me. Oh, now we need this, or a fucking bill, or what. Fucking, I hate fucking net bureaucracy now, you know. It's a fucking pain in the ass. It's all to get what you own already, you know. I paid 5 years into that BT pension fund. It's my fucking money, but of course they robbed it all. They robbed the pension fund. The fucking donkeys. They still owe it about £15 billion, because when it went private, obviously the fuckers robbed it to put into investments, no doubt, knowing the City of London. And that's no doubt where all the money came from to pay everybody to take the early leaver bonuses back in the 90s when they paid us all off to leave. They'd have robbed the pension fund for it, won't they? Fucking obvious. Which is why they're in debt to it. You know, this won't be, but make it look like, oh well, you know, it's because the pensions we pay so much, and it's all those pensioners. They're like, fuck, it's all the people who paid into that pension, and you've robbed it. But anyway, that's negative thinking. So anyway, we'll see. Joe got back to me and said XRP's gone up a little bit, but it goes up and down all the time. Just got to hope that the time I need it, end of February, to continue dietas, well, before February. I need it 3 weeks before to pay Maestro in advance, but I want to hang on to it as long as possible. See what gains I can get. Pull out a couple of grand more from Maestro, and you go and just live in the jungle and fucking overstay my visa. That's all I can do, because I got no other plans, because
if it all goes shit-shaped, and I was just thinking this morning, if I'd just be sodzo, I've never been stopped by the police here, but if I did, and they asked me for my passport, and they saw my passport was out, they might just say, right, you've got to leave now. They might deport me, in which case I wouldn't be able to, and that would, well, it might even be fucking prison, you never know. But that would be fucked then, because I'd probably never be able to get back into crew ever again, and that would be the end of this journey with Maestro. So at this point, I'm not too happy, because it's looking like I'd have to do another year of dietas, and being, you know, in ceremonies with Maestro, learning the Icaros before I'm in a position to even take my first ceremony, if I know a minimal amount of Icaros to do, and under the guidance of Maestro. So it's a long road ahead, so there's just no point thinking about it. It is what it is, and just have to accept it for that, and try not to be resentful about all the money that's gone in the past 3.5 years, wasted, lost, ripped off, you know, non-optimal dietas. Although Maestro did say that the dietas I have done are actually fine. But he said really you need to do 2 weeks with dietas to get the most out of them, but then it's quite difficult. You know, they get that second week, like ayahuasca, your second week of ayahuasca is always much harder because it's cumulative effect. You know, you're getting broken down and everything. But there's nothing else I want to do at the moment. I certainly don't want to look at having to fucking go to Costa Rica or Panama and work in a school again. There's no money in it. You can't save, as I found out in Honduras. So I suppose I've got to take that lesson that Mama gave me from that perspective. That month in Honduras was a great experience in the school, but you know, not for me. Because if there was money in it, you wouldn't mind. If you could save and then come back and do something. But a commitment for a year on $15 a day, plus an apartment, and then you got to pay the bills, which isn't much in. It's hot as buttons really for water and electric. Of course, you don't need heat because it's a hot country, but you're only running a fan really. A couple of LED lights like in here. But I don't use them anyway. I use my own torch, so I prefer the type of light, or I use candle. I prefer to sit in the dark at night with a candle, smoke my pipe, listen to Spanish or whatever. So anyway, that's that.